And a 1. Hello and welcome back, folks. This is Chicago Ted bringing you the Golden Aegis casting series. This one, match ID number 164566455651 will be the one. Thank you for donating for this one. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get going. I've already had a couple of really fun games today, so even though my voice is starting to crack and my sanity is being challenged, I'm still really happy and really excited to bring you guys some of these Dota games, so let's get on into it. For the Radiant this time around, it's going to be Snipe 3000 on the Huskar, with Mr. Robot on the Faceless Void, Dota Guy on the Io. It's going to be Charid playing the Crystal Maiden, and Nocturnian on the Storm Spirit. Meanwhile, for the Dire, Darlord on the Templar Assassin with, what is that, Aeroria?
30 seconds to go.
On the Anti-Mage. Oh my god, these names. Zabacht. I mean, I want to say it's Havos or some shit, but it isn't. It's Zabacht. I'll call you Zabacht. On the, what was he playing? The Necrophos. It's going to be Luna on the Tinker. That's going to get confusing. And Dragon on the Broodmother. So down by the bottom rune, what? Oh, he doesn't even know that he's there. Rapidly clicking.
And away we go.
They want the rune. Who's going to get it? Is it going to be Snipe? It looks like Snipe will get it. Nocturnian also getting the rune, making it for the Radiant to grab both of them. Druglord just melding up. I don't think they kill him here. They just maybe do a little bit of off damage, but overall, I think he's just fine for the time being. So, in this game, I'm looking at some pretty equal lanes. I mean, Storm Spirit does fairly well. I mean, struggles versus the Tinker earlier on, but as time progresses, he starts to do much, much better. Storm Spirit obviously being one of those generally thought as counters to Tinker. Bottom lane is going to be very difficult, though, as Huskar, it does well with the magical burst, but not well with all the little spiderlings hitting on him, and he's very single target, so having all those targets is very difficult for him. Top lane, though, it's going to be a Necrophos solo support with the Anti-Mage. That's going to be a very tough lane to deal with as well, just judging by the fact that the Necrophos with the Heartstopper Aura is just going to keep that steady stream of harass, and you give Anti-Mage any room to blink in and just start wailing on you, then, I mean, you set him up perfectly for a kill, so Necrophos is going to be synergizing pretty well with him there, though the lane itself isn't that aggressive on him, too. Like, the Faceless Void and the Crystal Maiden won't be able to put that much pressure on him, especially if you can put a couple points into Spell Shield. He will be just fine. Looking back towards the mid lane, though. Nocturnian, as expected, taking a little bit of damage earlier on from this one. But once he gets that bottle out, he should be able to sustain quite well. Meanwhile, Aeroria is sitting with 9 CS right now, doing pretty well, actually. He's going to go ahead, try to dive on into Mr. Robot. Doesn't have any points in mana drain, though, so he won't be able to get that much harass on out. It probably isn't that worth it either for him to really start getting aggressive just yet. Rather, wait for his mana drain to get out, mana break, and then go for some really aggressive plays. The 1-1-1, pretty typical of Anti-Mages. Sometimes they go 2-1-1, just in case they feel the need to burn an extra amount of mana. But in this case, he might even go 1-1-2, just to get some extra mana resistance against the Crystal Maiden. But for right now, I think he's doing just fine. He's even doing a lot better than this Huskar, who's 3-0, or 4-0 now on the CS board, and just really falling heavily behind in terms of last hitting. Darlord and Dragon putting a hell of a lot of pressure on him, and Dota Guy actually could drop here. Dragon is chasing on into him. Do they have any nukes, anything to bring him down? Looks like not. Meanwhile, Area, they're going on into the Faceless Void, not able to do too much. Snipe, turning around, they've got the Sentry Ward, they're just driving into Starlord, and Starlord's actually going to drop here. Dragon might as well. They've got a couple of right clicks coming through, need one more. The burn from the Burning Spears could be enough, but it looks like it won't be. The regeneration from the web just a little bit too high, as well as the Tango, so a very good kill for this Huskar. Templar Assassin, I guess, not really looking like she's too happy about dropping there. And yeah, some more harass coming out. Storm Spirit does have that bottle up. Will try to bottle Crow out. And this is what I was talking about. Area is just going to go straight onto Chard. Will find a kill here. All he needs to do is go for that one swipe. Gets it off. Fact could actually bring down Mr. Robot as well. The Death Pulse comes out. Area dives straight on back, but the Death Pulse will bring down Mr. Robot. And the pings come out. They want to bring down this anti-mage, but he's got Blink up again in 2 seconds, so he should be able to get back to safety. Bought himself a Ring of Health, though. Needs to deliver it to him now that he didn't buy it at the side shop. Can't buy it at the secret shop anymore, folks. So with a Sentry Ward down the ground, they can continue to be very aggressive on the bottom lane. And this is a big problem for the Templar Assassin and Brood. Having a double invis lane like this really sucks. But it looks like Brood will get rid of that Sentry Ward, though there is one still remaining outside of vision. If Brood can guess it, she might actually be able to take out the second one. It looks like she will. So both Sentry Wards are gone. And that's Dota Guy needing to spend a little bit of extra gold now on that, as Snipe has to stay really far back, not get caught out by anything. Again, a TA and a Broodmother can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time between the minus armor and all those little units hitting. Even meanwhile is Invis right up next to Nocturnian. You can see all the damage is going to come out. Looks for the rockets as well, but probably not going to be enough to bring him down. Instead, sends him down pretty low on the HP pool. And oh, bottom lane is Dragon in trouble. Looks like Dota Guy didn't buy any more sentries, so nothing more going to happen there. Top lane. Looks like they're not really looking for much more to happen there either, so I think all lanes slowly devolving into their limits, realizing what they can and can't get away with, and maybe Darlord is still getting a little bit over aggressive. You can see all this damage coming out from the burning spears. Huskar is just one hell of a hero here. Zabacht, or whatever you want to call him. Getting very aggressive here, but can just heal up between Sadist and Death Pulse. He's looking really good. So, Anti-Mage farming pretty well. 20 CS to his name. 5.5 minutes, not terrible, especially considering the scope of the game. Doubling up the Huskar's own CS, and I mean, he can run away with that if he's really into it. I mean, he's got the Ring of Health again. Has a regular boost, the Poor Man's Shield helping out a ton. And he's just going to go straight on in. Brings down Chard by a huge amount of HP. Mr. Robot as well. In comes Luna, though. A couple of kills. A go for the lightning, or the laser onto Mr. Robot. Chard should be next. The rocket's coming out. Kill secure from Luna, but really, there's a couple of kills that they're quite happy to take. And now they can go ahead and put a lot of pressure on this tower here, as they're creep cutting right now. And this gives a lot of dedicated farm to the AM, not having to battle with creeps to find that. So this tower should drop 6.5 minutes into this game. Really good timing to bring down a tower.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Dragon could be in a lot of trouble, but it's actually that's neither of them really in any sort of danger.
Lost the top tower.
If they had a dust or anything, this would be a very dead Broodmother. But instead, he's going to stay alive, regen up pretty quickly. Oh, no, they see him. 2 more Burning Spears, and they'd have him. One Sentry Ward goes down, but they get rid of it. A Burning Spear comes out, Dragon taking a lot of damage from it, and the Burn Balls will go ahead and bring him down. Dota Guys, though, on the run. Drops out more of those spirits as a, well, Refraction comes out for Templar Assassin. Turns around, tries some Mellow Strike out, but this damage coming out from the Burning Spears only gets 2 of them off, actually. Will it be enough? It looks like it could very well be. No, it won't be enough, just by a small margin. So Templar Assassin will go ahead and be there for 2 kills. Huskar only grabbing 1 off that. And now, Aoria, he's gotten very aggressive since he brought down that tower. Almost imagine it might be smarter for him to just go ahead, finish up, or go into the jungle. Maybe choke jungle right here. You take down this tree, and you just let one of them attack you. But instead, he's going to actually have to stay very far back, and that's a pretty major problem for him, not being able to farm as efficiently as he'd want. Meanwhile, Nocturnian gets himself up onto the high ground, is able to TP himself away. Luna looking so hard for that kill, but can't find it. The guy might be in a little bit of trouble in the bottom lane. But it looks like he'll be just fine for the time being, at least. In comes Huskar again, though. Snipe, you might be able to find a kill. They've got Sentry Ward right down. If they can find Dragon, a life break would be huge here, but he would have to go in with Darlord under wraps here. And actually, he's going to go straight into Dragon. Dragon doesn't realize what's going on. He's taking so much damage. He's actually going to go down the life break to bring him down. But Snipe, he goes as well. The minus armor from Darlord just completely wrecking him. And now Dota Guy in a lot of trouble. He will go ahead, hit himself into the side here, but Sonic Trap will secure Dota Guy within range. No, Darlord, he turns! It's not going to matter, though. I think Darlord still gets the kill here. No! Dota Guy! Darlord, what are you doing? He's still diving for this one. Oh, man, he could very much just die here if they rotate anyone in. They're going to get snipes in, but wrong tower to TP to. And that's why you don't turn until you know they're dead.
Bottom tower ain't a pretty sight.
That's
right
very
now.
unfortunate. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage, in the meantime, 41 CS, 9.5 minutes. Again, needs to find some way to jungle, or needs to find some way to get gold that doesn't rely on sitting close to the wave, because this far he's so vulnerable.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up. No
Trying
breaking
to find what
down the
CS he
Radiant
can. I mean,
structures like
taking a little bit of harass, but not a whole lot. It forces him to TP back, though, or blink
Radiant's
back. And
bottom tower's done for.
meanwhile, the bomb tower will go down. Dota Guy is searching. It's actually going to be Nocturnian that tries to find him. They have the dust under him, and they'll just go straight on in. Snipe, he wants something to help out, and he will go ahead, drop down a couple of auto attacks. And Dragon, though he gets away for the time being, they will finally bring him down. Drops down a Sentry Ward regardless, and now it looks like Tinker is coming up from behind. He's invis, going in on this one. Chara taking a lot of damage as Laser comes out. Area going into, or Mr. Robot going into Area, who will finally bring him down.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Oh dear, that's a kill for the Faceless Void that you didn't want to give him at all. So very unfortunate there.
Radiant's mid
Faceless
tower's
Void
coming
will get the
apart.
solo, or sort of solo, out into Anti-Mage, gets away with his life, and Anti-Mage very slowed on his farm since then. We'll be able to pick up the power trades as soon as he comes back alive, but he's now sitting about 2,600 gold away from the Battle Fury, and that's going to be pretty difficult to farm in 4 or 5 minutes. He's got to, he's got to really make use of that jungle, I think. Do they have any stacks up for him? Do they even have any camp stack? Doesn't look like it, so it's going to be difficult. Dragon in the middle lane. Try to push out what he can. Nocturnian is having none of it, though. Doesn't have a dust of his own. Might be smart for him to grab some. Mr. Robot, meanwhile, Zabast, or X. I'll call you X. That makes it a lot easier. X, he's going to go in, deal some significant damage with just his right click. He's got a Reaper Scythe ready, but he needs to find the right opportunity to use it. Meanwhile, Dragon and Luna both are pushing in this mid lane. They want the tier 1 mid tower. Dota Guy getting caught a little bit ahead of himself, but will this wraparound from Darlord be enough, or will he get hit? Looks like he'll get hit, but the Sonic Trap comes out nonetheless. Looking for the Melt Strike, gets it off, and Dota Guy getting completely annihilated. Whenever you see an IO, if you just pick Templar Assassin, easy kills every single time. I mean, there are points where you just one-shot that IO, unless you let him get farmed up, you know, by a mechanism and a heart. Then maybe it's a little harder, but IO ends up being a pretty simple kill for him. Anti-Mage, meanwhile, does he take to heart? Yep, he goes into the jungle and tries to find some experience and gold from the jungle. Very smart. He's getting rather close to his battle free now, only about 1,000 gold away, and maybe he will be able to farm it in a really good amount of time. Looks like his X wanted to go for that Reaper Scythe and probably could have gotten it off, but in comes Dota Guy, healing up Mr. Robot, and that'll be the end of that one. Back towards the top rune spot, Snipe spots out X. This could be a very dead Necrophos, slowed up, trying to heal himself with the Death Pulse. In comes Dota Guy, though, maybe trying to get some experience from that one. Luna, though, could very well bring him down. No, Frostbite comes out. Snipe dealing some damage. In comes in Aurora, though. Wants Snipe doing some pretty decent damage. He will go for the Mana Void, but not going to deal enough damage.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom
Snipe
tower.
living with about 20 HP. Has Inner Vitality ready, though. So he'll pop that up, heal for 25 HP a second.
Radiant's bottom
Meanwhile,
tower's
Darlord and
been
Dragon
raided.
completely destroy the bottom tier 2 tower, and maybe push a little
There
bit
goes
further for
Radiant's
more.
bottom tower.
Chard will make his way down, but won't be able to do too much about this. I don't think he can really do anything solo. He does have support, though, coming in from Snipe. And if they have any sorts of dust or sentries or anything, maybe they can bring down Dragon. But for right now, looks like everyone taking a step back, farming up a lot of psionic traps on this side, either psionic traps or webs for the Dire. Lots of little polka dots on the map. Meanwhile, Luna, with boots of travel at the ready, can start making a move, being really aggressive around the map. Aoria, 14 minutes in, 300 gold away from that Battle Fury. If he clears this wave, then goes into the jungle, finds a camp, he could very well just have it. So now Mr. Robot, looks like they're going to battle it out here. Mr. Robot does still have plenty of mana for his Chronosphere, and he will pop it, but it looks like the Reaper Scythe stopping him in his tracks. He's going to have to get himself away from this one. Aoria needs to wait for him to time walk. He can't even time walk. There's the Mana Void in Aoria. He will finish his Battle Fury. You can buy it at the side shop, but he decides not to. Not worth it, I guess. Meanwhile, Darlord's going to farm up the jungle. Why not, right?
Radiant's mid tower.
It's going to be Luna as well, pushing out the waves, just creating pressure across the map. And in comes Nocturion. Into Darlord. Can they bring him down? He Metal Strikes away, but in comes the Life Break. And Darlord, even though he's got the Refraction Shield, he just cannot stay alive to that. So Snipe 3000 will go ahead and find another kill. X doing his own little solo pushing up to the top lane, creating a little space while the Anti-Mage makes use of that Battle Fury in the jungle. They're going to rotate in. Snipe coming on in. They also have Nocturion. They want X so bad. And they even relocate in Dota Guy just to be part of that kill. So a nice couple of kills going the way of the Radiant. Luna, meanwhile, going to try to farm out, push out this tier 1 mid. In comes Dragon, it looks like. He's got lots of little spiderlings out of ready, too. So he's going to go on for this tower. Do they have a glyph? They do have a glyph to spend. They could delay this for a short amount of time, but that's just about it. So, Luna gets himself out, and Dragon, with insatiable hunger, goes straight on the tower, but they will glyph it. Dragon now in a little bit of trouble, has to get himself away, but they have the dust. In comes, okay, fine. It looks like Tinker deciding not to go for it. Smart move. The tower will stay alive, but they can deny if they want, and they will go for the deny.
Just then, the Radiant disowned their mid tower.
So with the tower denied, the Radiant will make their move up towards the north. Maybe they can find Darlord, maybe they can find the Anti-Mage. That would be even better. He finished up his treads, by the way. 16-minute Battle Fury treads, nothing to scoff at. It looks like Dota Guy and Mr. Robot, or at least just Dota Guy, spots out Darlord. In comes Snipe. Maybe they want to try to find a kill off this one, but Darlord will pop the double damage rune. Could try to turn this one around on Snipe if you wanted to, but not really that much support. We'll put down the Psionic Trap, but going in would be pretty risky. So instead, they push him back past their tier 1 tower and then say that's enough push for now. Luna, continuing to put pressure on the bottom lane. Darlord with a double damage. Now has a bounty. Can they make anything happen? Their tier 1 is getting really low. Psionic Trap will drop out. Darlord still with a double damage rune. In comes Tinker. Can they go ahead? Can they clean anyone up? Mr. Robot on the run. Chariot on the run. They probably could have blinked in and gone for one of them, but looks like they won't do so. Meanwhile, Aoria will go ahead, grab himself a tower. And this split push is really doing wonders against the Dire side, or the Radiant side. They're losing their towers left and right. They've already lost bottom. They've lost top tier 2. Dragon might be in a little bit of trouble. Do either of them have dust? It does not look like it, so he should be just fine for the time being. May even be able to solo kill Snipe if you can find a couple of extra spiderlings. We'll throw them out. That'll be it. And the Dire hanging back for a little bit. Now, there's going to be a regen rune spawning. Roshan is at the ready for them, and all their towers are still standing. They are winning on the objectives, but they got to start taking some decent fights and pretty quick. I mean, Darlo's down in bottom. Score is 10-10. And look at the grabs, and the Dire have gotten an advantage. So taking fights may just be the best idea for them. Maybe try to find a pick off, a smoke, grab a kill, or use the fact that the Brood is split pushing to an advantage and create pressure elsewhere so that the Brood might be able to get a free Rax or something. Regardless of how they play it, I think some action should be taken pretty soon. Area can just farm out. He's going for that Vladimir's offering. I really like this item. And he'll probably be going for the Manta style directly after that. And by then, he'll just be able to fight. He'll be nothing but a fighting machine. And that is exactly what they need from this AM right now. To get out, to start fighting, to punish this Storm Spirit pick. And speaking of Storm Spirit, he did go for Dust this time. And he actually might be able to grab a kill on the Dragon. Pops out the Dust. In comes Luna, though. Dragon now turns around. Maybe wants to find Nocturion. But it's going to be Luna with the laser. Comes out and destroys Dota guy coming in through. Relocated in, but he might actually just bring Snipe out of this one. And if he leaves Sherrod alone, nope, Snipe will stay in. Sherrod not left alone. Meanwhile, X is up, walking through the jungle. Almost gets spotted out by Sherrod. Actually, he might have been, but didn't end up seeing any aggression because of it. And so the Dire will group themselves up and push. Now a Mask of Madness will get completed onto the Face's Void. A good Chronosphere could end up throwing, or could end up grabbing a significant portion of this game by the balls, but he'll have to grab it. Now they're going to rotate in the Tinker. What can they find? Dota guy taking a lot of damage off this one. Mr. Robot wants to find the Chrono. Will grab X. They've got a freezing field as well, so X will go down. Dragon as well, taking a lot of damage from this one. Darlord looking to try to turn this one around, but he's not really in the right place at the right time. So 3 will go down, and though it was just a one-man Chronosphere, it was exactly what they needed. And so, the Dire losing a lot of advantage off that last fight. Area, meanwhile, Nocturion doesn't have any sort of silence, and at this point, a silence probably would help because the Manta style is definitely on its way. But Anti-Mage will just go back to farming, and you know, exactly what helps, what works. Farm as much as you need, get as much as you can, and come out, fight with a huge amount of lead, and we'll take you up on it. So, AMH maybe makes his way in, but doing so without a basher could be rather risky. He'll have to stay alive for 5 seconds, and then he'll be able to TP out. But it looks like they're rotating in. Now they go in on him, but I'm pretty sure Snipe can just turn and fight. No, he can't. Taking so much damage because of that mana break. Now he turns with the help of the IO, goes into X, but here comes the Reaper Sight. Doesn't do any damage because, well, it's a Huskar, but he still will drop here, though will bring down X in the process. Meanwhile, Area will go ahead, dive in for Dota Guy. In comes Mr. Robot, doesn't have Chronosphere. Dota Guy, or Darlord, trying to find more. In comes Nocturion, though. Is there any more Mana Void? No, he doesn't. He already used it on the Huskar, even though it did no damage, so he won't be able to Mana Void out onto Nocturion. He ends up going down to the bashes of Mr. Robot. Now Luna in a lot of trouble. There's no way for him to get out of this either. A 4 for 2 is what it ends up being, and a very, very bad fight for the Dire. The Anti-Mage needs to be farming right now, and if he fights, he can't go that deep. That's a problem for the Dire there, as they're losing their hard carry. And every minute that he's dead, every second that he's dead, is another CS that he could be getting. So unfortunately speaking, the Radiant, or I guess the Dire, have not been acting how they should, giving up so much. The Radiant, though, quite happy about this. They're about to take an advantage. Experience, about equilibrium. Gold, about 3,000 or so.
This'll come in handy.
And so Dragon, waiting in the wings. Is there still a Dust? Looks like he does not have a Dust, but there is a Sentry Ward. Will just go down. And Radiant, I mean, play it safe, play it in their base. The Dire, they've got to come to you. So it looks like Luna up into the top. We'll go ahead, continue putting pressure, keeping their base safe. Not a single tier 1 has gone down. No Treant Protector in sight either, so just Tinker doing Tinker things, making sure nothing pushes. Dota guy will go out, looking for one of his orbs to explode. If it does, they know exactly where that Broodmother is, and they can just go straight on him. But they need a dust to do so, and Dota guy has dust. Nocturion does not, though. They don't really have any idea where he is either, so they can't exactly bring down the Brood. He'll wait in the sidelines, waiting for the time to either cut the creep wave or just, you know, farm something. Nocturion's going to go ahead and bring down his babies, though, as Luna continues to put some pressure on the top lane. How's Aerial doing? He's got the ultimate orb. No Yasha in sight. But again, that Manta style's coming. 24 minutes is kind of when you want to have it, but if you die like he did, then it does get delayed by a pretty long margin. And so, double damage, he will grab it. He can take Ancients with that. He might even be able to just go in straight and take Roche on that. But without the Yasha, I guess it's kind of impossible for him. Meanwhile, Nocturion doing a little bit of counter pushing, but it's Aerial who wants to make something happen with this. If he goes in, he's got to be very careful to get the kill or, you know, or bust. Meanwhile, it looks like Radiant are grouped up on the high ground. They're waiting for someone to be unfortunate enough to show their face, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to do that. Darlor is the only one really close to them right now, and even he is way out of vision. Dire having some really good aggressive vision here, able to really keep control of the Dire side of the map, or the Radiant side of the map. And so, Broodmother will continue farming. His farm, he's got Necro 2s, looking for that ultimate split push here. Necro 3 is completed. Meanwhile, Dota guy will push out the top lane, but that's just as a result of Tinker constantly pushing that one in. I've never seen these spiderlings before. They look more like ticks than anything, but I guess spiders are spiders. They even have 6 legs, or... Yeah, okay. Sure, why not? 8 legs, rather. Arachnids are 8. It looks like... They've got something at the front of them, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. They still look like ticks to me. They are. That's what they are. They're ticks. They're just ticks. Wow. Anyway. Looks like Dragon and Luna will continue their push down bottom, but... Every time they do this, they've got to be careful. There's Mr. Robot who can blink in on in or move on in. There's Stormspear who can move on in as well. Luna will get himself out of there. Meanwhile, the Dire just sitting back and again, farming up, doing what they can, and not trying to take any direct head-on-head fights because they really want the pickoffs. They really want the slow, elongated, you know, one after one kind of fights, and Radiant, I don't think they're going to give it to them. Grouped up as 5, they're really looking for that head-to-head, you know, drop in, get the best chronosphere of your life, and then go in that direction. So, at the moment, things, because of that, will be moving pretty slowly. Our Anti-Mage will be getting out his Manta Style very soon. And that'll be a pretty big point in this match, is when that Manta Style does end up getting completed.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Meanwhile, bottom, they find the Brood. Do they have any vision of him, though? It does not look like it. Luna does come down. And this is an out of mana, or nearly out of mana, Storm Spirit, but he's able to get far enough away that doesn't matter. Another set of rockets to fly through, but doesn't really do all that much in the long run. Meanwhile, Darlord having to blink himself away into the trees, almost stuck in the trees. Do they even know he's there? Do they think he's there? Mr. Rolot pings it. And they will. They figure out he's there. They'll go ahead, bring him down. Not even need to spend the chrono. Just, you know, take down the Templar Assassin. He's got the blink, the phase. Looks like he's working towards that Desolator, but I don't think he's going to be able to have it anytime soon, especially after dying once right there. I mean, we're 27 minutes into this game. And looking at, in terms of advantages, the Dire still has a pretty decent advantage, and not incredible, about 7,500 gold, about 4,000 experience, but an advantage is still an advantage, and sucks that it doesn't look like they're able to push much off of there. So they'll just go ahead, slow siege the bottom, as is Dragon's specialty. Wait for the time is right, so that he can just go straight in and push. Mr. Robot's waiting for Tinker, but Tinker stops that TP right at the right time. Luna not wanting to get Chronosphered. Instead, goes down bottom. That'll be that. Nocturne's down there, but doesn't want to dive in on this one. Playing it rather careful. Is there any sort of indication of a Orchid? No, it doesn't really look like this Broodmother is going to go anywhere near an Orchid at all. So I don't think Storm Spirit doesn't have to play that afraid. I do think, though, that Anti-Mage and Darlord can probably go in, maybe take a Roshan and do that. I mean, he's got the Manta Style at the ready. He can definitely fight and do whatever he wants to do right now. But they're moving around. It's just a full Mjolnir actually completed on the Faceless Void. With a Mask of Madness Mjolnir, he's attacking like an absolute, you know, I don't know, something that attacks fast. What attacks fast? Help me out here. Regardless, pushing out through the top. Doing what he can to push out waves, but the Mjolnir is going to make it so easy now. Even Anti-Mage should have trouble bringing him down. If you can't get enough mana drained off of him in a short amount of time, one Chronosphere is all it's going to take. Now Relocate comes in. Goes way behind, but I'm not sure what they're going to be able to find with it. Maybe they find Darlord, but right now it looks like they're not finding anything. They move up on the high ground, and that's about it. Relocating without much vision, probably not the best plan here. Looks like Dragon, though, in a little bit of trouble. They're trying to get rid of the Sentry Ward, or at least he's trying to get rid of the Sentry Ward, but he can't quite do so. Nocturnion will stay alive for the meantime. Luna comes down, maybe wants to try to find a kill, but Luna's actually going to go ahead and cancel that TP. Meanwhile, top, Mr. Robot's going to go ahead and drop onto Aeoria, but can he TP out? He's one more bash. He will not get it. Aeoria able to blink away, but a bash comes through. There's the Reaper Scythe, not doing a lot of damage. Aeoria, another bash, and Mr. Robot will bring him down. Luna comes down and gets the return onto him, though. Unfortunately, through all this, the Broodmother has been dead, so hasn't been able to push off of the space created, but this is a problem. Faceless Void doing a hell of a lot of damage, especially to the Anti-Mage, making it very difficult for the AM to really, you know, farm, stay alive, do what he needs to do. Also, pretty aggressive push attempt coming out from him in the long run. They do get a little bit of damage in that tier 3 tower, but that's about it. Meanwhile, through the bottom lane, Dragon pushing out through. What will he find? It looks like he's just going to go ahead and farm up this jungle. Just do what he needs to do. Again, get ahead, get to a point where he can just fight. Or, you know, split push even more effectively. He's still got that Necronomicon, 1,400 gold. Looks like he's got something coming out to him. It's just going to be a TP scroll. Just like that, though. Radiant are going to try to bring down their first tier 1 of the game, but it doesn't look like they're able to. With Darlord TPing in, they back themselves off. Broodmother controlling the Radiant jungle here, just as she should. Gets down enough Observer Wards up here in the top, though. It's going to be a relocate, and Nocturion, though, might be caught out of position because of this relocate. He's got plenty of HP, plenty of mana, though. They had the mech to come through. Shari being locked in place because of the Reaper's Scythe. Tried to put in the freezing field, but will not be able to get more of a duration off. Aeoria not even using the Mana Void there. Do they continue to chase onto this Io? Looks like a TP comes down, though. Luna and Dragon are down here. Snipe wants to try to turn this around, though. Luna might be in a little bit of trouble because of it. But in comes Dragon, ready to try to get that mischance on, ready to try to fight on a Snipe. They're going to go ahead, keep him from attacking. They've got him with the laser, but it doesn't look like it actually gets purged off because of the life break. And now Heaven's Halberd out on a Dragon. Just like that, though. The top lane is being pushed in. Aeoria and X are doing a huge amount working on this top tier 3 tower. And Nocturne could be in a lot of trouble if he can go up with a Mana Void. In comes the Chronosphere, though. X is just about dead. Aeoria also could be very, very dead here. A bash comes out straight out of the Chronosphere. Will blink himself away. But the blink, will it be enough? 1 second, goes for another one. Needs to get it, gets it off. And though he might be in a lot of trouble, it doesn't look like the Storm Spirit can continue to chase onto this one. So he'll continue to blink away and gets out of there right quick and safe. Meanwhile, potentially Broodmother going in again on the snipe. He's got more spiders this time. But actually, it's Dragon who's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go after, maybe try to bring down Dota Guy, but all of those spiderlings just go down in no time at all. And so, the split push is working out decently for the Dire, but not as well as they'd hope. Aoria needs some way to really not get destroyed by the Faceless Void in the Chronosphere. And usually what that ends up being is, you know, not getting caught in the Chronosphere. But sometimes you just don't have a choice. And if he does get caught like that, they need some way to bail him out. Either a long-range stun that can sit back onto the Void, or have Tinker, even just go to Aghanims on Tinker so you can hit him from outside of the Chronosphere. But Mr. Robot's in a lot of trouble. Get Time Walk away, but he cannot TP. No, he can TP. Do they have any way to spot him? They don't. Rather unfortunate. Aoria, well, they'll let him go. They'll let him go, and that's a pretty upsetting miss of a kill. Darlord, though, will solo Roshan. Very useful amount of golden XP going his way for that one. And they might be able to push off of having an Aegis on a Templar Assassin. Just go ham with the TA, get as much damage done to the Husker as possible. Maybe even try to one-hit the Void or something along those lines. He will have Chronosphere, but it's a 300 mana spell. So if the Anti-Mage can get a good jump onto him, then I don't think Robot can even get that Chronosphere off. I mean, what's it going to take? With each right-click draining 64 mana burned, if he's got 3 units, he just needs to hit twice with each of his units. And I mean, he won't have enough mana to cast. Regardless, though, bottom lane is going to be the one to push. Dire, just okay to slow siege this one, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to play this one safe, 23-16 right now. It's a kill score at 35 minutes. Nocturne is going to go in, try to find Darlord, turns around and tries to Metal Strike him down, but in comes Snipe. Darlord could very well be dead. This is an Aegis that he's going to be wasting if he is. Tries to bring down Nocturion, and we'll get very close. He's creating space, though. Can he get the blink out? Looks like he will be able to. But will he be able to actually run away from this one? I guess yes. Broodmother now pushing up, looking for the high ground. I think Backdoor Protection would be down, or at least it's very close to being down. Popping more and more illusions, though, makes his way up. And this is going to be a very, very unhealthy tower off this one. They might even bring it down. So Dragon goes straight on into this one. Goes onto the racks. Mr. Robot will Chronosphere it. Even though she's an unsatiable hunger, she can't turn around and get that mischance into the Brood, so the racks will not drop. In comes Aoriel, though, and Darlord. Their Chronosphere is down. Do they have any way to bring him down, though? They will with the Mana Void. Do so much damage. Faceless Void's got buyback, but it doesn't matter. The racks are going to fall. It looks like Radiant are not too happy with what just happened there. I wouldn't be either. Area could probably go around and bring down the top racks as well. Wasting a little bit of time, though, going after these, going after the Moon Wells. In comes Nocturion. Does he have a Mantis Style? 5 seconds, he will. X is in there, though, helping him out with the Death Pulse. Here comes Mr. Robot, and Everest could be dead. A very unfortunate and very awkward kind of move coming out from the Anti-Mage. Could very well have gotten his top melee racks, however, it looks like Darlord still is going to get it. No, he's not. Very, very unfortunate sequence of events. That's what happens when you don't waste time. The Moonwells may seem, you know, like you want to kill them, you want that extra gold, but
you know the drill.
The racks are important. Having that melee racks down right now, that's 2 lanes that push in. 1 racks down at 40 minutes means almost nothing. I mean, sure, it's a racks down. You definitely are happy to have it, but 2 racks down can very much mean the game. It's kind of funny. The difference of 1 racks, if it's only talking about 1 racks down, is nothing, but the difference of 1 racks if 1 racks is already down is everything. That's kind of where it's at right now. Confusing? Maybe. Truth? Indeed. So the Dire need to find some way to make up for that mistake and maybe go ahead and grab that racks in the meantime, because they... Oh, looks like we got to pause. I mean, they can't afford to let that happen again. They have to play with an objective mind, and they have to go and, I mean, just not waste any time. Dragon could be in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't look like they actually know he's there, so he'll be fine, but the top lane, Luna's going up, continuing to push it now. The fact that this is an exposed barracks means that these pushes are just that much more potent. There's no tower to keep the wave from pushing back. They'll just continue pushing in and in and in unless any unit comes and defends against it. But for the moment, again, Dire, they've got their objective list in hand. They just need to find a way to make it happen. Bottom lane's already pushed in. The Broodmother doesn't have much left to do down there. Maybe send some Spiderlings out across the platform and do some chip damage to the other thing. But this melee Rax is about halfway healed up. So Luna will come down bottom, help out with Dragon's push, but I think he just needs to occupy the jungle right now, so I'm not sure he can push off of this. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage is going back to farming. Will have an Abyssal Blade soon. In fact, he actually goes for a heart. And that's a Vitality booster on the curse. So yeah, he's got a heart to rest ready to go. That'll help him a lot in these Chronospheres. Not so much for damage, but I'm not sure he needs to worry that much about damage right now. 39 minutes. A BKB wouldn't even be that useful, especially in the Chronosphere, but he's got really the Manta style for the silence anyway. He's not totally worried about that. But they make their way down to up towards the top lane. Anti-Mage and company. It looks like they want to try to remedy the situation that they left and go after that last standing Rax. Broodmother might just be better off pushing down the mid lane and grabbing that mid-tier tier 2 while pressure is created up top. Oh, and what's going on here? Looks like we've got a conflicting interest going on. Oh, the Faceless Void is disconnected. Alright.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Alright, so they'll drag Faceless Void in. There he goes. X in a lot of trouble. Just gets blown to bits in no time at all. But Rain is in for this one. Going after the mid-racks here. Or at least the mid-tier 3 tower. Freezing Field comes out and Dragon taking so much damage from it. Everyone taking so much damage from it. Tries to do what he can, but it's not going to work out. Dire go for a YOLO push there when they didn't exactly have to. And lose out so much. I mean, all they need is to create pressure, grab that Rax. That's all they really need on that one. And they went really, really deep for that. And Radiant, I mean, they took a great fight. The Crystal Maiden, realizing that she can just drop down with the Freezing Field, got almost what seemed to be a double kill with that. She's got Aghanim Scepter. That is how much damage? 310 damage. You imagine there's 100 total explosions that happen over the course of the ultimate. That's a lot of damage. Now, of course, not everyone hits, but that's still a huge amount of damage that comes out from this one little tiny hero. And so, she will back herself away. But the racks still stand. Their base still stands. They've lost this bottom rack. That's all they can say they've lost. Luna and Aerial will go into the top lane. Maybe they can find their push again. They've really got to cut this one fast, and they got to cut it hard. Some prayer special is being created. Darlord getting taken down, though. It's not called space. That's just called dying. Is there a glyph to spend? There is a glyph to spend. Aerial, they spend the glyph. They go on the snipe. Snipe's in a lot of trouble here. They just need to bring down this Rax. Just get the Rax. It's all they need. Aerial is going to go down here. In the Chronosphere, even though he's got heart, maybe he can get away. One bash, that's all they're going to need, and they will get it. Anti-Mage goes down. And Objective Gaming not exactly working out. Dota Guy is going to get away here. He's got the haste. No, he's not. He'll go down in the meantime, but a 2-for-1. No objectives, nothing. Very unfortunate for the Dire team. They need a lot more from this. Anti-Mage just overestimating his ability and underestimating the enemy's damage. I mean, this Huskar, he doesn't have a whole lot, but he still hits pretty hard. This Faceless Void does have a whole lot, and he hits very hard. I mean, even if AM goes for the butterfly for the evasion, whoop, they've got an MKB on the Faceless Void. Doesn't really matter. Like, the only thing that's helping them out in the Chronosphere is that Heart of Teresk, and even with that out, they're still able to bring him down just because of Faceless Void. It can output so much damage. Now, granted, he did get a lucky bash after that Chronosphere ended, but lucky bash or not, a kill's a kill. And Anti-Mage has got to be struggling to figure out what he can do here to push. Same with Dragon. He might be in a little bit of trouble here. Do they have any way to get vision on him? It looks like Crystal Maiden does have a Gem of True Sight, but they don't get any damage on him in the meantime. So he gets into the trees. Nocturnian can drop down some global vision if he really wanted to, but doesn't do it. And so Dragon will be just fine. At least for now. Meanwhile, Luna goes up to the top lane, wants to continue on this trend of pushing. But this Rax is already healed back up to full, and the kind of window that you have to push it has really sort of ended. So Radiant will go after the Roshan. They can take it right now, but there's a Psionic Trap, so it might not be smart. And if they do, they got to worry about their Rax going down now. And Wild Io, Dota guy will go down. Luna, though, is going to pay for it with his life. Not worth it at all. But it does open up Roshan for the Dire to take. And Aerial grabbing that Aegis would be very good. He's going for a butterfly, which I'm not sure is the play here. But it is armor, so maybe it is. They get the Roshan, though. Wonder who grabs Aegis. It's going to be Dota Lord or Door Lord also grabbing Aegis again. That's... Who knows? Can they bring down Mr. Robot, though? He's got a lot more mana, so it's going to take a lot more for the Anti-Mage to bring him down below the Chronosphering threshold. And it looks like the Dire are just going to go for a coordinated, well-structured push. Maybe they can find something off of this one. 30 seconds before their Tinker's back, so they're not pressured to do anything right now. They're just going to wait for Tinker and then try to go off the back of that one. But Aoria, he has plenty of places to farm, whether it be the Radiant Jungle, the Ancient Camp, or looks like he's going to go out top and start to begin to push that one out just a little bit. 10 seconds for Luna to get back, and that's 10 seconds before they really start to get active. Dota guy is going to relocate in. Kind of an interesting relocate. They're not going to be able to bring him down, though. 2 seconds, 1 second, he's out. And so, with Luna back, Dragon's positioning himself in the mid lane. It looks like they want to do the whole split push thing. They send Dragon in through the mid, and they're going to try to put some pressure on the top. Once the top is pressured, they go after mid, and Dragon brings down the tower, maybe even the Rax. We'll see if it works out for them, though, because right now they just got to wait for the lanes to complete pushing in. They've got a Tinker, they've got a Broodmother, so waves are going to push in. It looks like Broodmother might not even get the chance, though. Nope, he's going to get back. So there's some pressure being created again. Like, Storm Spirit doing a lot there, couldn't quite get enough done. Looks like AM will come in, but I don't think he wants to Chrono the Void. Who knows, though? Snipe out of mana. Charred. He's got so much. He's invisible. And what's this tapey back? Aoria, he blinks back behind the Rax. Oh, no. That's... Oh, God. Darlord's going to go down as well. 3 are gone. And Aoria feeling a little bit more invincible than he is. A Heart of Teresk doesn't do anything. Oh, no. The Chronosphere being spent by the Faceless Void. Trying to stop the TP away from the Tinker, but doesn't get it off. Though, it's not really a loss for them, as it looks like the Radiant are getting a huge amount from this beginning, or this couple of fights. Dire still have a little bit of an advantage in the gold, but experienced Radiant have skyrocketed. And now they can continue to push out. I think they have the pushing power now. A couple of good chronos, a couple of well-timed attacks, and they could very well just end this game straight up. But it looks like they'll move around their jungle. 47 minutes in. Not doing too much. Mr. Robot is looking for a kill here. Doesn't end up finding anyone, though. It looks like we're back to square one again. The Dire are all coming back into the fray. The Radiant are all sitting back and starting to farm a little bit. Dire are feeling a little lackluster, though. Again, they had such a good advantage. They had such a good push lined up, especially when they went after this Rax. But the throw happened when the anti-mage got picked. And that's a problem. But they're not out of this game just yet. It's only 48 minutes left, or 48 minutes in. And I've seen some pretty strange comebacks today. So, do I think it's going to be a 2-hour game again? Probably not. But it could very well go until, Dire start to pull this one back. Speaking of, Dragon's in a lot of trouble. They're going to go ahead and hex him up. This is a very big issue for them. He goes down 80 seconds. Does have buyback, but I mean, a buyback is one thing. Just letting yourself get picked off in positions like that is another. Darlord, meanwhile, is he giving up? No, he's Xing the trees. Again, kind of not really in a good spot here. Doesn't have much vision. Now they see the Faceless Void. Can they go ahead? If they can bring him down, that would be huge. But they have to do so. The Huskar is not really their prime target anymore, even though he is a major focus of them. It's got to be this Void. Chronospheres are killing them. And it looks like he's going for an Agonist. Realizes this. Oh, here comes Nocturion. Darlord, though, gets out of vision. Up top, though, they've got the Reaper's Sight, but the Chronosphere comes down. Axe is dead. Aorial could also very well be dead. He's looking very weak right now. Nocturion is a giant pig, but he's also going to get out alive. Darlord, though, is dead. It's a 5-man wipe. And the Radiant getting so much out of this one. Could very well just end it right here, right now, or get very close to. As Mr. Robot completely destroying what little the Dire had to take that fight. And again, these Chronospheres, that's everything that they cannot deal with. So Tower taking a lot of damage, going to end up dropping. Mr. Robot making quick work of it. They could push further. They could go up to the high ground if they wanted to. But they have to go as 5, and they have to hit hard and fast. And they will do so. 40 seconds without an anti-mage. 40 seconds without a TA. They should be able to get one set of racks. If not, they can only get one set of racks, rather. Maybe they try to go straight for the Jugular. Maybe they try to end it right here. But looks like they'll back off. There's a tier 2 they can still take up top. Or relocate to bring the Faceless Void there, I imagine. Or not, just to bring himself there. Luna gonna go ahead, try to bring down the solo Wisp. And he will do so. But Shark Road goes in, drops down with a freezing field, and the damage is real. I mean, that's a very, very dead Tinker.
You're dead, and that's a cold, hard fact.
So, Radiant looking very good right now. When you're trading IOs for Tinkers, that's a good sign. And it looks like the Radiant will go ahead. They can push in the top tier 2, maybe get a second set of racks here and end the game. But Faceless Void, he's got 30 seconds before he can go ahead and boot to travel on in. So he's got a little bit of time left in his hands. This gives Aoria a little bit of time to maybe try to find a good fight here, but doesn't look like Radiant are giving them that advantage, or giving them that opportunity. Mr. Robot's going to go down bottom, can definitely go ahead, bring down this bottom tier 1 tower, and create a simultaneous push situation. So that's what he'll do. He'll start pushing this one out, has some pretty decent items, went for that Aghanim Scepter, which is, I mean, a huge amount in terms of that Chronosphere that has already been the major issue for them. The Aghanim Scepter only makes it worse. What does, I mean, all of the Dire are looking pretty decent. This TA, by all said and done, is actually a really pretty farmed hero, but she's just getting blown up as such. So Radiant find a quick pick off. Mr. Robot is going to find a quick tower pick, and I don't think the Dire can take this Rax. They can try. They can most certainly try. So they're going to lose a tier 1. No glyph to protect it. And they may even lose a tier 2. I don't think Faceless Void has to come back to defend this one. Although he might. Light Break comes out. Luna, though, is going to go Scepter up. Has the Solar or the Lotus Orb on him. X is just going to straight up die here. Mr. Robot does come in, though. Drops down the Chronosphere, and Aeoria is just going to die again. The Aghanim Scepter making it last for just long enough to bring him down. And so, Radiant, once again, they take a massive fight. And Dragon, well, he's also going to go down here. Luna comes back into the fray, but the Radiant can go ahead, push him through, grab the top tier 2 tower. They may even go ahead and then grab another set of racks here. Remember, this situation happened not long ago. But they need to go ahead and cut the creep bar. I think Nocturion needs to go ahead, get far enough ahead, and get the creep wave way ahead of its place. But it looks like Robot and Chard will go down to the bottom lane, maybe go after the bottom tier 2 tower, while Centurion goes after the top tier 2 tower. And again, create this sort of split push situation that is impossible for the Dire to even attempt to defend. I mean, all they've got down here right now is Darlord, and he can't really stand up to a Faceless Void at all. Void, yep, just laying into this tower, doing so much damage. A glyph gets spent, which means both towers will go down very quickly. Nothing to stop this. And Luna will come down. Mr. Robot taking a lot of damage. He, in fact, just gets blown to bits. Kind of a weird kill that just happened there. Chard will TP out. And now Nocturion and Snipe, they'll go after the top tier 3 tower, and they should be able to bring it down. It looks like X is making his way up, but what damage does he have? Nocturion backs out. Snipe is also gone. And, I mean, another set of racks exposed. The bottom tier 2 tower, though, is not looking that healthy and should go down very soon as well. So this is a butterfly for the anti-mage. Maybe they can make something happen with it. But in the meantime, they just got to deal again with this Faceless Void, who's become way too much of a problem now. You've seen the fact that he's not invincible. He can go down. In fact, maybe he just wants to sell his Hand of Midas, grab himself a BKB, and he'll be unstoppable. But for right now, we got to wait for him to come back. 50 seconds. Just like that, I mean, the outer waves are pushing out again. Luna doing a very good job at making sure of this. Area and Dragon are pushing out on the Roshan, maybe trying to take it. Can Nocturnion go ahead and do anything cheeky about this, though? He's going to go straight on in. They're relocating in... who is this? Who did they relocate at all? Anti-Mage? Okay, they relocated an Io, and... Anti-Mage will find an easy kill there, but a Life Break comes out. They want to bring down X. He's got the Lotus Orb. They can't continue to dive into this one. A Reaper Scythe comes down. Snipe is actually going to get destroyed here. Nocturnion gets himself out of there. Aeorel can't really chase, though he does have Mana Void up and running.
Mid-tower's coming apart.
Faceless Void back up in 2 seconds, though. And maybe they can start to turn their fights here. Courier, what's this? 2 Hyperstones. Whose is this? Nocturnion. Interesting. Going for that the Moonlight Shard, or the Moon Shard, on the Storm Spirit. And so Dire will use this time to maybe push in. They don't even want the racks, or don't even want the Roshan. They just want the racks. And Aeoria's going to go in. Now, they do have a glyph to spend on it. It's up to see if he can bring it down. Oh, he goes straight in. They're not going to pop their glyph. They're just going to let their racks go down. And Mr. Robot going to try to deal with these illusions the best way he can. Just bring them down. Snipe taking a lot of damage here. Gets brought down to about half HP, but that's about it. Do we see a Chronosphere, though? Looks like Robot. He wants to go in, but can't quite find it. There's an Aghanim Scepter, by the way, on the Tinker. Kind of an interesting pick there. X in a little bit of trouble. Darlord, he gets hexed up, but in comes Aeorial. Do they have their Chronosphere? Do they even need their Chronosphere? They're just going to fight this one out. They don't really care. Freezing Field goes down. It's doing so much damage. Aeorial has to back himself away, but he's just straight up dead. And just like that. I mean, that's all it takes. That's really all it takes. The Dire can push in mid and then go up top because of it, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and move Mr. Robot out. He's got a Boots of Travel ready, so he can go and push whenever his team gets up close. right now is going to go ahead and grab the wave, try to shove it forward a little bit. Arturion going really far forward. It is an Aghanim Scepter Tinker, so they can be sending out multiple rockets at once. But it looks like Snipe and Arturion, they've got one target in mind. They want to just go and bring down as many buildings as humanly possible. And it looks like those buildings are the racks up top. Base's Void can come into this one, but he goes back to base first. In fact, he won't be part of this push at all. So it looks like they just want the racks and they just want to get out. 50 minutes into this game, 2 sets of racks down on the Dire side of the field. Still a tier 2 standing in the bottom. It looks like Mr. Robot will chronosphere down looking for Luna, but can't find him. Back there he finds him, but I'm not sure Mr. Robot can bring him down. Nocturion can, though. Luna will go down, 60 seconds without buyback. And now Radiant can start to push in through the bottom lane as well. Maybe go after that tier 2 and finish up the racks and the game. They want the Roshan, though, so they'll go ahead and make their way into the pit. And this Roshan shouldn't be too long for this world. They got plenty of damage to bring him down. Who do they give the Aegis to? Maybe Snipe? Maybe Nocturnion. Speaking of Nocturnion, 38 Bloodstone charges. Kind of interesting there. He goes down once at all. He's back immediately. He's got pretty much 2 Aegises. 3 if you count the buyback. Now Ariel going to try to go into this one. They've got the Evans Halberd onto Mr. Robot, but they can just turn around and fight on him. Mana Void came out, but it's just not doing enough damage. And again, the Freezing Field. All it takes. The Freezing Field is just being way too much. They could end the game here. They could straight up go and end the game. Are they going to try to backdoor this tower? I don't think they have the damage to backdoor this tower, but he's going to try anyway. No, he does. So tower, consider it backdoored. Mr. Robot will be pushing in, but his team, I mean, he's not really on the same page as his team, but it looks like the Radiant, they could very well just end this right now, and they will. The Rax, the Ancient, it's just dead. GG, well played. One last glyph, because why not? But the Ancient will go down, and the Radiant take this victory. Very well played from the Dire, very well played from the Radiant, but only one team can actually take the gold. So, that's it for this game, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for donating if you had for this game or any other game. And I will catch you all next time.